Hello everybody, it's Adam at All Things Bonsai. It's a lovely spring day once again. We're here today to talk about Deshojo Maples, which are the red Japanese maples. These are incredibly popular for, well, all bonsai people really, but especially people at the beginning. One of the trees that you always seem to want, and I did too, was a red Deshojo maple. So yeah, we can see the trees here. They're in lovely red colour at this time of year, being spring. Now, if you're at the beginning of your bonsai journey, you might not be planning to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on such things, and that makes really good sense at the beginning. So what you're probably going to end up with is one of the smaller Deshojo maples, which we've got in front of us here. So wanted to show you what they're all about and how to get the best out of them. First thing I wanted to tell you about was the level of light that is required for Deshojo maples. I would say that of all the bonsai trees, these are the most sensitive to high levels of sunlight, so you've got to get the location right for them. What they definitely don't want to be is in somewhere that you would describe as a sun trap. That would be a terrible location, for example. A shaded or at least semi-shaded part of your garden is going to be a much better level of light for these. If you give them too much sun, you're just going to burn the tips of the leaves, and you can kill the whole thing off by leaving it in too sunny a position. So find the right spot in the garden for it. That's really important. Next point to make is that they are red in the spring, but they don't keep this red colour all year. So as the year progresses and the seasons change, you're going to get a much more of a greenness developing, essentially. So you're going to go from the bright pinky red through to a deeper red, through to a greeny colour in the summer, and then you're going to move to autumn when you're going to get some bright colour again. Now, the lower priced ones tend to be grafted trees. The reason for this is because essentially it's cheaper and easier to make them this way. So in terms of trying to keep the price as low as possible, this is what the growers do. So you've got a normal Japanese maple rootstock here, and then you've got the grafted Deshojo maple cultivar just at the top here. Can you see the little graft running through here? You can see the old stem from the old Japanese maple that's here. Things to say, I suppose, the lower price ones are grafted, the higher price ones tend to be ungrafted. Now, if you're going to get the grafted ones, which is most likely at the beginning, perfectly understandable, have a look at the graft and try and make the best that you can of it. So what I'm going to do with this one here is I'm just going to clean this little stub off. So I've got my cutters here. I'm just going to come in, I'm just going to remove that there. And then there's a little bit extra there. Can you see that, Jamie? Can you get in there? You see that little bit there as well, look? You got it? Yep. Yeah, okay, and let's just take that off as well. So we've cleaned that off, and I'm hoping that over time it becomes more of a smooth transition rather than just looking like a cut stick. The next thing I want to do with the maples here is try and give them some movement in the trunk, because if you have a look at this one here, for example, well, it just moves up here and is a straight line all the way up to here. Now, if you leave that like that, then no matter how long you have the tree for, it's always just going to be straight all the way up there. What we like, of course, in our trees is to have some shape and some movement in the trunk, so we have to do that. And to do that, we have to be pretty brutal, to be honest. So we're going to get branch cutters here. And can you see how there's multiple little things coming off from low down here? Well, these need to go. So we've come in with some cutters and we've removed off a shoot that was coming this way. Now the next thing I want to do is come into the central section here where I've got two side branches coming off, and I want one of these side branches to be the new trunk, to be the new leader. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my cutters, I'm going to remove this central section here. There we go. Okay, so what have I done now? I've got the trunk coming up, and then I've got some movement that way, and then I've got some movement this way, I think, in this occasion. So secondary to that then, let's reduce some of this stuff down on this side and just come back a little bit lower down, probably to, oh, I'd say about here. So let's nip that off about there, and probably that's okay for now. One of the other things you're going to find with these is quite often they're just in a really composty soil mix, which, to be honest, is done for reasons of economy more than anything else. It's not because it's particularly great for the tree. So I would recommend actually shaking away some of this composty soil, just not repotting or trimming the roots or anything, but just easing out some of this compost, and then probably taking it out of these little tiny diddy pots just into the next size up. So maybe a pot of about this sort of size. Pop the tree in there with some fresh soil around it, bearing in mind we're not root pruning or repotting particularly, and just let it sit in there for the remainder of the growing season. Then you can do a more thorough job when it's dropped its leaves and you're at proper repotting time, which is generally early spring. Actually, on the subject of seasons, don't forget it is a deciduous tree, so it is going to drop its leaves in the winter, which is normal and absolutely to be expected. That's pretty much it for the video, folks, so thanks for watching. Don't forget we do sell these things on our website, of course. Give us a subscribe if you can, and yeah, we'll see you soon.